Hey guys, it's Sky, and this is What's So Funny? So, it has been a very hot minute since I've done What's So Funny. Just damn, it's been a hot minute. It's been April 18th, no, it's been April 16th, 2026, since the last What's So Funny, which we talked about since we talked about it, it was 9 months into comedy, which was a joke of I could have produced a child in that time. So yeah, damn. So that's how long it's been? Damn. I'm impressed that it's been that long, because now it's May and June that I've gone through, which means we have a lot to cover in 30 minutes. I usually don't wait that span amount of time to do a What's So Funny, and then just shit kept coming up, and more shit kept coming up, and more shit kept coming up, and then I turned the clock and looked, and I'm like, shit, I haven't done a What's So Funny. So anyway, I just can't believe that it's been that long. So, first and foremost, as of this month in June 3rd, it has been 11 months in the comedy, which is crazy to think, because July 3rd will be 1 year. I will make a special What's So Funny for that one, but as of June 3rd, it is 11 months in the comedy, which again, nothing feels real right now. It just doesn't. There's so much to talk about, and the fact that 11 months has gone by, and how much has gone by, it's amazing. First and foremost, I did not think on February 25th, I did not think I was going to be starting my own open mics of this year. Running my own, and still doing it now. So that's one thing that is, unbelievable to me. And I'm loving running my open mics. So that's one thing that I'm just enjoying, and it's been going amazing, and it's such a beautiful thing. And number two, you meet so many great new comedians, you meet veteran comedians, you meet new people all the time, so it's been a really great experience. Number two, the Cove is back every Tuesday. This summer, I'm actually working at the Cove with Wordy's Laugh Factory, so I'm working the sound if I'm not on stage. Even if I'm on stage, I'm still working, so pretty much you'll see me every Tuesday at the Cove. I love it. So it's one of my favorite places to perform. I've said that in old videos, but I love working the Cove. I really do. So in terms of why I think I also took a break from the What's So Funnies and Food for Thoughts, that has a lot to do why I think there was such a chunk of time why I didn't do it. And I'll get into that right now, because I think that also needed to happen. So there was a point where I did have a roommate, and now he's my ex-roommate, which is great. But that took a toll on both me and my fiance, and a lot of me. But I was learning something that I didn't realize, which was that I was not giving myself any downtime. It was come home, no downtime, entertain, no downtime, and just, I wasn't doing things for myself. It was always either for the roommate, for the house, for the animals, blah, 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 for work, blah, blah, blah. There was never for me. And even with comedy, it was always, it wasn't even for comedy, because the comedy was actually what got me originally away from the house. So for the first maybe 2 months, if that, maybe for the first 2 weeks, comedy was my escape. Oh, maybe it wasn't 2 months, actually. But that was the crazy part, is comedy was becoming an escape habit to get out of this house. And it was really crazy how it started. And then it became much more than that, obviously. But then I had a struggle that a lot of people, if not anybody, knew, which was, how am I going to balance work, personal life, and comedy life? And I'll break that down for you. So way before I even started comedy, I was a con goer. I like going to Comic-Cons. I like going to all different types of conventions. It doesn't even have to be Comic-Cons. I went to HorrorCon this year, which was the first one they've ever had, and they're going to do more. I just got a free invite back to it for next year. I like going out with my niece and nephew. Okay, that's great. But that also cuts... I used to like doing martial arts. I liked horseback riding. Comedy became something where it was like the second fork in the road. So with horseback riding, I did a mass majority of my life, and then I got into Taekwondo. Well, when I got fibro, I couldn't much do it anymore, and I just wanted to get my master's, and I had to fight for that because my body wasn't starting to be like, hey, you need to kind of quit this because I can't put up with it anymore. Okay, great. I got my master's, and then comedy's door opened. I'm like, okay, well, here's the thing. I can either do martial arts or I can do comedy, but realistically, I can't do both. So when that comedy door opened, I spent years managing martial arts, work, and a personal life. Now, I had to learn a whole new system of comedy, a personal life, work. I didn't know how to do that because the comedy schedule is very different from martial arts, where you go in and train XYZ days. You know, it was very different. Comedy's not like that. Comedy can pop up at any point, different days, different open mics, different scheduling, all the different. And I did not know how to handle that. And it's just a whole different universe for me. And mentally, there is a whole different mentality being a martial artist than there is being a comedian. And there was a point in the last 2 months, and I'm not even gonna lie, that I was ready to hang up my comedy shoes and be done. I was gonna quit. I was gonna be done. I was done. I was done with this. I didn't want to keep doing comedy. But I had a long talk with a very, very close friend of mine. And that's exactly why I didn't quit and I kept pushing through. Because with all the shit I've been through in my entire fucking life, that's exactly why I didn't quit. Because it's not the first time I've been kicked to the curb so hard that I wanted to quit life. Quite literally speaking. It's not the first time I've struggled with trying to find a balance in my life. And I knew it wasn't going to be easy. So I get back to, how did I learn to balance this as a comedian? Well, I learned that I have to take time for myself. It doesn't always have to be bang, 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 comedy, comedy, comedy. I still have a job. That's number one. I still am a antisocial person, so, little backstory. I consider myself an antisocial person. And I know a lot of people are like, no, you're not. You talk to everybody. It's very hard for me to talk to people. I'm not going to lie, it is. It's very hard. It's very hard for me to ask anybody anything. It is. It's very hard. And I actually just found that to be immensely difficult when I had to ask Tyrone something, and I'll put my hands on my hips, and it's me being nervous because my anxiety kicks in. And that's when I realized that it's very hard for me. Like, I with comedy friends, I can talk to them. I can. But you don't realize the internal conversation I'm having with myself. And it's like 2 people yelling and screaming in your head to go in a hole and cry for like 4 hours. That's the internal conversation I'm having in my head, but you don't see it, and I'm hiding it very well. But inside, I'm terrified. And this is why, don't usually show him, I have that guy. Because without him, yeah, it's tough. It really is. Comedy is like my second service dog. It really is. Being on that stage, even if I bomb some days, being on that stage and sharing my moment with you guys and sharing whatever is coming out of my mouth that night, you have no idea how much it helps. I struggle sometimes on stage. I'm not going to pretend I don't. I'm not going to pretend sometimes I don't make people laugh. But I want to show you guys what's going on stage, because that struggle is real, that I struggle with every day. Because one day that dog ain't going to be here, and comedy is all I'm going to have left. And it is. Until I can get a new service dog. So going to cons, like when I went to SteelCon April 11th in PA, when I went to the IX Piston Auto Show, you know, those are times that I can have with my service dog. I can get out socially, do stuff that I like, but still be comfortable enough to do it because I have my service dog with me. But COVID fucked me up royally, because there was a point where I walked past, and I wish I was kidding, I walked past the mirror and I did not recognize myself, and I cried because I was scared. I cried because I didn't recognize who I passed. That's the moment I realized I had a problem. And I struggled with that for a while now, because when you don't recognize yourself, that's a very scary thing. And I knew that this What's So Funny was going to be a very personal one for me, because I wanted to talk about balancing comedy, personal, and downtime. And that downtime for me is going to conventions, not thinking about comedy, not thinking about being on stage, even though a lot of times I'm still promoting my comedy. I'm still promoting Wordy's Laugh Factory. I'm still promoting the next show I'm going to. Even tonight at the Tipsy Flamingo for trivia night, I was still promoting the next show that I'm going to be on. I'm still promoting my open mic, because it's the same place we're doing it at. You know, so it's just, it's one of those things where you try very hard to balance everything, and even sometimes it feels like you're juggling fiery knives in the air, and one hits you in the head and your head's on fire. It's tough, but I always find a way to do it. That's why for me, comedy is not just about making people laugh, but it's sharing my story. And being around the other comedians, they might not know it, but it means a lot to me, because it gets me socially out there in a position where I wouldn't be, because otherwise I would be hiding at home, because that's where I'm most comfortable. And I need to get out of that comfortability, because one day my service dog isn't going to be here and I'll have to retrain another one. And that's going to be rough. And comedy is helping me get out of that bubble of that transformation when he's not going to be here. So I don't want to get in that depression when he's gone. I want to have something to essentially hold on to, so when we transition from old service dog to new service dog, I'm not so depressed, and I can focus on comedy and focus on something else to help me heal. And that's what comedy does. Yes, I enjoy comedy. I enjoy it a lot. But I also wanted to help me transition to the hardest part of my life when it comes. Because I know I'm going to be a fucking wreck when Dakota's gone. But at the same time, comedy is, I've always said it, comedy is like my second service animal. And it's helping me a lot. And I don't really get to share this on stage because it's not part of my act. It's just literally my life. It really is. So with that being said, comedy-wise, July 22nd actually is, actually, let me go backwards really quick. The other event that I'm going to, June 13th, me and Dakota are actually going to AnimeCon in Columbus. So that's another big event me and my buddy are going to, and I'm really excited. So here it is, let me get all perked up. But July 22nd is actually my first open mic contest that I'm going to be hosting. The reason I didn't count the roast, which was May 27th, is because that was actually a real roast that people got to do towards me. I kind of tested out my birthday open mic, in which I kind of tested the waters just to see how I would do, and I did 2 shots that day. It was great. Apparently, during the actual roast, I did 6. Yeah. I didn't know that. I was told it was 4. So I kept apparently announcing, I'm 4 shots in. Didn't realize I was saying that either. The last thing I remember was announcing, welcome to the open mic. I don't remember anything after that. When I got back the next day to do something, I forget why I came back, because I had to do something. I was told I did 6 shots that night. Oh my god, I don't know how I'm still breathing. But this open mic is just going to be run like my open mics, but I have 3 judges and I'm very excited. I have the great Anthony Fresh Velez, Tyrone Gaines, the Fresh Prince of Welfare, and 2025's winner of the Las Vegas Comedy World Series, Rob Coleman, which is so cool. I know all 3 of those guys personally, so it was very cool to actually see if they would judge for me, because again, I am a wee baby in this game. I'm 11 months in, so I'm just hosting my own open mic. By no means would I judge, but these guys are definitely veterans of the game, so they know what they're doing. I'm very excited. It's $100 if you win first, 50 if you win second, and 30 if you win third. So it's gonna be fun. So it's exciting, and I think also too, it's the idea of, I think, doing events like this, I can't obviously do them every week because the prize money comes out of my pocket, but running the open mic differently, doing stuff like this is really helpful. Just not even as a host, but learning how to do the game of comedy really does help me. And I've also learned a lot how to host open mics from Monty, who I've helped Monty and Nancy out a lot. Just when I go to their shows, obviously I pay to go to their shows, so, but Monty was the one who I kind of learned how to, like, MC like him a bit. Obviously my jokes are not half as good as Monty's, but, I learned a lot of my cheesier jokes during the open mics from Monty, because he does a couple cheesy jokes when he MCs, so I try to do some of those, but I obviously put my own spin on it. I don't steal jokes. But most importantly, I just want to say that, I think just, like, reminiscing of the fact that it's been 11 months is really amazing, and the fact that I'm almost racked up a year of comedy and what I've done, how far I've gone, is pretty cool. And I can't wait to see what the next even year brings, what the next few years brings, and where I go with this. I have a couple plans in mind, so we'll see where it goes. And yeah, so thanks guys for watching What's So Funny. And I appreciate everybody, and I will talk to you later, okay? Bye, guys.